Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. Additionally, consider subscribing to my Patreon to get access to these features, and much more. The next 2 weeks didn't go as well as I hoped. I couldn't repeat what had happened on the subway. Work kept me occupied, and Mr. Whitman wasn't around much for guidance. I did connect with a few women, but maybe I was too eager and got nervous about what to do next, losing them almost immediately. With one girl, I felt there was potential. I held her gaze for a while, and she even smiled. Then I pushed too hard, trying to dive into her thoughts all at once. It felt like a sharp sting in my head, and I shut my eyes reflexively. After that, she avoided looking at me, so I gave up. After these frustrating encounters, I took the chance to meet some of Mr. Whitman's friends during a Sunday tea he invited me to. They were a teacher couple in their early 50s and a retired psychiatrist. They had spent their university years researching the gift. To keep it secret, they recorded their findings in a book that never got published. We talked a lot, but they had more questions than I did. I struggled to explain what I did or how. I didn't share the subway woman story. I wanted to keep the best part to myself for now. They urged me to keep exploring the gift and begged me to keep them updated. Best of all, they gave me a copy of their book, which I gladly accepted. That evening I started reading. At first, it felt chaotic, written like a diary, mixing theories, experiments, with and without various drugs, and personal experiences of the 3 authors. Some parts resonated with me, others were confusing or seemed outright wrong. In short, their theory proposed about 10 levels of the gift, meaning not everyone gifted had the same abilities. That was purely genetic and unchangeable. I recalled Mr. Whitman's call when he first told me about the gift. I think he said I was a possible level 10, probably top of the hierarchy. I couldn't help but feel like some kind of superhero. More interesting was that the gift could be developed through meditation and practice, meditation to prepare the mind, exercises to think the right thoughts at the right moments. At 2 a.m., I forced myself to stop reading and get some sleep. After all, I had work the next day. Monday evening, on my way home, I had a sudden realization, without even needing the book, though I'd been thinking about it all day. Remember the girl I connected with briefly? I saw her again, and what happened next was unlike anything before. I hadn't noticed her enter the subway, but suddenly she was standing by the door. Maybe because she looked different this time. 3 days earlier, her chestnut hair was tied in a bun. She wore a plain grey coat, blue jeans, and flats. She seemed tired, and her large handbag made me think she might be a student exhausted from all-night studying. Her thick black-rimmed glasses gave her a sophisticated look, but because she sat hunched and wore no makeup, I thought she was pretty but nothing special. This evening, her hair was down, reaching her shoulder blades. With full makeup, her glasses now gave her a strikingly sexy appearance. She wore the same coat, left open to reveal a tight red turtleneck sweater and a black and white checkered skirt. Black leather boots with 4-inch heels completed the look. When the man beside me left, she took his seat. My heart pounded, caught between excitement and disbelief. From the corner of my eye, I tried to glimpse her face reflected in the window, but she stared out silently. I leaned forward, hoping to catch a clearer view. I could. And I did. She looked. I looked. Then everything went black. When I came to, about 5 minutes had passed. She was still sitting beside me, staring out the window. I was gathering myself when a polite voice asked me to scoot over so she could get off. I moved without hesitation. She clearly hadn't wanted to be there, was uncomfortable next to me, and had an evening class to catch. That's when it hit me. I knew all sorts of things about Emma. Actually, it felt like I knew everything because I had been Emma for the past few days. The headache crept back as I made it home and collapsed on my bed. I fought to quiet the flood of strange, random thoughts and memories. Breathe in. Breathe out. Wow. Piece by piece, I pieced it together. After many failures, I had poured all my focus and energy into connecting with Emma that day. I thought it hadn't worked. But it had. I had sent a powerful stream of my thoughts into her. Unlike the first time, I couldn't control anything. I was just a passenger on a wild ride. I heard her thoughts, saw through her eyes, felt through her skin. It was overwhelming. I spent hours just being there. She went from the subway straight to class. She was a chemistry student in her 7th semester. Sitting there gave me time to absorb it all. Gradually, I reached deeper into her feelings, thoughts, and mostly memories. She'd been single since her 3rd semester, had 3 close friends, and led a pretty uneventful life outside school. After a while, I wished I'd connected to someone else. Someone with different shoes, at least since I have a strong high heel fascination. Just then, Emma thought about wearing her Mary Janes with 3-inch heels more often. Something was definitely happening. I tried thinking about even higher heels, but it didn't affect her thoughts. I discovered she had a nice figure, 5'10", measurements 33-25-37. She didn't do sports and felt awkward dressing up. But sometimes her friends dragged her to nightclubs, so she owned some outfits for those nights. Her thoughts wandered to weekend plans. She and her friend Lauren wanted to try a new cake recipe and binge-watch Gilmore Girls. Maybe she'd rather go out, maybe even have a one-night stand to break the monotony. I flushed a little, and she seemed embarrassed by her own thoughts. She refocused on her lecture. After class, her weekend plans popped back into her mind. She went home and headed straight for the closet. I got excited, hoping she'd dress up a bit. She did, and I was amazed. Most of the clothes weren't my style, but she picked the ones that suited me best. It was obvious I influenced her. Soon after she took off her shirt, she glanced down at her chest. She cupped her chests, creating a beautiful cleavage. We were both thrilled. Her hands slowly slid down to her slip, but suddenly she shook her head, tossed the clothes back into the closet, and put her everyday outfit back on. So close. Lauren wasn't just Emma's friend, she was her roommate. Shorter and a bit chubby, but definitely more style-conscious. A makeup artist at the local theater, she was rarely seen without a full face and styled hair. Her look changed every week, and I liked that about her. Lauren wore tighter clothes than Emma, sometimes a risky choice, but at least she tried, and I always appreciate a nice set of curves. When Lauren got home that evening, Emma confessed she wanted to go out Saturday night and asked for help with styling, even borrowing clothes if needed. It all led to a shopping spree the next day. I watched as Emma, with an excited Lauren by her side, dropped $700 on clothes and shoes that clearly matched my taste, with only a little restraint from Emma's shyness and Lauren's advice. We left the house that evening wearing a khaki suede dress that revealed a hint of cleavage thanks to a Wonder bra. The dress was short, though not as tight as I would have liked. Still, Emma was growing more comfortable stepping out like this. The look was finished with plain black 4-inch leather boots and a brown leather coat. Lauren had worked magic on Emma's hair, creating long, flowing locks that rested on her shoulders. The sleek black leather handbag was roomy enough to hold flats since Emma planned to dance a lot that night. It was definitely her night. She laughed, danced, and chatted with Lauren and some students they met. It felt good, but as the evening wore on, I stopped feeling like a mere passenger and more like I was zoning out in front of the TV, sometimes forgetting my own situation and blending into Emma. Sunday morning, I realized I hadn't just slept, I had passed out for about 2 hours before Emma even went to bed. A wave of panic hit me, afraid I might disappear entirely. I gathered myself, focusing on reconnecting with who I was. Maybe there was a way back. I remembered my Monday morning schedule, but it was nothing like Emma's. I tried to steer her to change her plans, filling her thoughts with my own desires, but she had an important class and resisted. One side effect, Emma chose a very sexy outfit for the next day. Later, I tried to meet myself on the way home and there was less resistance. After class, a coffee with her mom, and running errands, we finally got on the subway. Emma struggled, feeling uneasy about seeking out a guy she'd only met once before and locking eyes with him.
Since this wasn't a normal urge, I felt sorry for her, but I wanted to go home. When we finally made eye contact, relief and tension washed over us both. I urged her forward, and in the end, I succeeded. Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content,